It's no longer thank me later, it's thank my lawyers. It's no longer take care, it's take the stand. Nothing was the same, nothing was the settlement. If you're reading this, it's too late? Nah. If you're reading this, you've been served. It's no longer views, it's sues. It's not more life, it's more litigation. It's not Scorpion, it's scorching hot legal filings fresh out the printer. Certified lover boy, certified litigator. Honestly, never mind. Honestly, never diss me cause I'll sue. Her loss, her lawsuit. For all the dogs, for all the defendants, or for all the defamation. So as much as you loved any of these Drake albums in the past, his music will never hit the same after the massive destruction he's wreaking across the essence of rap battles, as he's now set the precedent that if you've been dissed too hard, all you gotta do is sue. So as we all know, Drake has sued his record label UMG for defamation for publishing and promoting Kendrick's diss song Not Like Us. In some leaked text messages, Drake had defended his actions, saying that this lawsuit is meant to expose the lies and manipulation of these giant corporations, and that he's fighting the good fight of making Universal a safer space for artists in the future. Somehow he hasn't realized that by releasing this PDF file document that is his lawsuit against UMG, if he wins, he is destroying how diss songs can be made in the future, due to the fact that record labels now have to worry that they might catch a case over some lyrics that one of their artists had rapped in a song that that record label released. But aside from destroying how diss songs can be made in the future, Drake is now also threatening the profitability of the reaction industry, as major record labels will likely never let reactors use their music without getting a copyright strike, since Drake is accusing UMG of trying to defame him by letting streamers profit off of their reactions to Not Like Us. In his lawsuit against UMG, Drake is literally snitching on a bunch of reaction channels because of the fact that they were able to profit from their reactions of Not Like Us. The lawsuit states that on May 4th, UMG removed the recording's copyright restrictions on YouTube and Twitch, thereby quote-unquote whitelisting the recording. On information and belief, this action was directed by Interscope's executive vice president and head of digital marketing, and this whitelisting was done purposely and with the full knowledge of UMG for the purpose of spreading the recording and its defamatory content as broadly as possible and as quickly as possible. UMG has a formal ban on whitelisting and had never before whitelisted a song on any platform to plaintiff's knowledge. That's the key to plaintiff's knowledge, because what Drake failed to realize is that they actually whitelisted his own diss record against Kendrick, Push Ups, but we'll get to that later. Anyways, let's keep going with the lawsuit. Basically, in and around June 2024, UMG reinstituted the copyright restrictions on Not Like Us. The effect of whitelisting the recording was massive and immediate. Able to play the full recording in their own videos and to profit from them, content creators rushed to republish the recording in reaction videos. Then he lists off a bunch of different examples, specifically only of black creators who had reacted to Not Like Us. He mentions the Cartier family, whose YouTube channel has 1.44 million subscribers, posting a video depicting the album artwork of Not Like Us and using the song in their video, and as of the date of this filing, their reaction had 2 million views. Then he goes on to snitch on NoLifeShaq, saying Twitch streamer NoLifeShaq posted a 14-minute clip of his reaction to the recording on his YouTube channel, which has about 4.75 million subscribers, and as of the date of this filing, his reaction video has 5.3 million views. Then he snitches on YouTubers Zias and Blou, saying that they posted a 15-minute video of their reaction to the recording and have garnered 6 million views on their reaction.
Embarrassing! I'm angry! It's time to activate rap mode.
Then he snitches on RDC Gaming, who posted his reaction with 4.5 million views. Then he snitches on Kai Cenat, who posted a 20-minute video of his reaction to Not Like Us onto his YouTube channel, which has 11.6 million subscribers, and his reaction has 9 million views. And the lawsuit goes on to state that these content creators could not have legally republished the defamatory material in full or profited from their reaction videos without UMG first whitelisting the recording. So when Drake said,
"I study rap battles for a living,"
I think he really meant to say he studies legal battles for a living, because there's more guest appearances in this lawsuit than a DJ Khaled album. And justifiably, of course, when the reaction community heard about this, everyone was up in arms. Even Drake's biggest defenders and glazers had a tough time defending anything about this lawsuit. So we're going to break down every reactor's reaction to this lawsuit. And I mentioned in my last video about Plaqueboymax and the whole little TJ Favio foreign situation that, to me, I kind of feel like an old head with streaming because on a surface level, just seeing clips of these streamers pop up on my social media against my will, I chalk up the streaming world to just being a bunch of reactors reacting to a bunch of things that other people did. And then new streamers will spawn up and react to the reactions of the other reactors who were reacting to the original thing. It's a whole reactionception. Just an endless spiral of reactors reacting to reactions of reactions. But I'd rather reaction repetitions than pre-action petitions, which is what Drake filed. So let's react to all the reactions of Drake's class action. Right away, the first creator to realize they were mentioned in Drake's lawsuit was NoLifeShaq.
Yeah, bro. Just like what the title said, this is exactly what's happening. This Drake them snitched on the reaction community. It's no way you got us in this case, dog. We chilling, having fun. And you got us listed in the case?
He then goes on to say that by filing this lawsuit, Drake has officially morphed into the softest guy in hip-hop. Sorry, the softest guy ever on earth. But not the softest guy in hip-hop because he is not actually hip-hop.
Oh, this gotta be the softest ever, dog. Drake, you ain't hip-hop, bro. It's no way. You a great artist. I'll give you that all day long. I promise you. Can't take that from you. But, bro, you gotta be the softest in the history of Earth. Look at this.
He then goes on to point out how dumb a lot of the arguments within this lawsuit are, as the main claim is that UMG specifically defamed Drake by lifting the copyright, which then incentivized reactors to react to it in a positive light, further boosting its popularity and shifting public discourse on Drake's reputation and his standing within the battle. Shaq points out that reactors would have reacted to this song regardless of if it was copyright stricken or not. It's simply their job to react. They're incentivized to react to it whether or not they actually get paid AdSense revenue because this was the biggest beef of this generation. They have to react to a story that big, and all Kendrick's label did was allow them to profit off their work and break boundaries in terms of how reactors can monetize their content in the future. It set a really strong precedent that artists should be incentivized to whitelist their music and allow reactors to be more incentivized to react to the music, since they could profit off their reactions, which essentially acts as a marketing tool to spread the music. But Drake here has basically at least attempted to block this from ever happening again.
Can y'all read this? Basically, the right to monetize our videos, to defame his image, basically. Basically, to make him look bad, they let us monetize our content. What? That makes no sense. We was gonna react to it anyway. Whether we got paid or not, we still was gonna react. Dre, you must be new here. That's the biggest thing we complain about. Copyright. Niggas was gonna react anyway. This is the biggest beef ever. Do that make sense to you? Man, ain't no way this crazy, dog.
Shaq then goes on to make sure the future generation knows they gotta boycott Drake the same way he's trying to boycott diss songs.
Do you see this man right here? Right here. He not like us. He not like us.
Next up, we got a reaction from arguably the biggest reactor in the industry right now, Kai Cenat. He's actually seemingly a good friend of Drake. Drake had called him recently when he was on stream with Aiden Ross to congratulate him on his success and acknowledge the fact that he's changing the way content creators make content. And he even texted Kai Cenat the night that he was about to drop Family Matters, telling him to stay on stream. Now, this plan backfired massively for Drake because, as you guys obviously know, Meet the Grams came out 30 minutes after Family Matters, so all these streamers who Drake told to stay on stream were on stream long enough to watch Family Matters be completely overshadowed by Meet the Grams. But hey, that's just another one of Drake's moves throughout the beef that aged horribly, but not as horribly as the fact that his so-called friends in the streaming industry were now mentioned in his lawsuit. So Kai Cenat reacts confused because he's just on stream, and I guess the chat is telling him like, hey, you're in Drake's lawsuit. So he's kind of tripping, thinking he's getting sued by his own friend nonetheless. And remember, they kind of have a good relationship. You know, obviously having a Drake in your corner is a good look for a streamer like Kai Cenat, who often has rappers on his stream. So the moment he realizes he's not actually getting sued and that his reaction video was simply just mentioned within the lawsuit, Kai kind of brushes over the fact that the main issue is Drake indirectly hindering reactors from profiting off their work in new innovative ways by shutting any possible future whitelisting down with this lawsuit. And Kai was seemingly more concerned with whether or not he was actually getting sued versus what Drake is actually doing and how it affects the reaction community going forward.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm
I'm not getting sued though. I got my money. I'm being honest. Now if I was getting sued, I'd be like, bitch, Aubrey, I thought we was cool, but we good. So somebody break this shit out. Yo, okay, I know what to do, chat. Do we have any lawyers in this motherfucking chat? Clap it up for the lawyers.
Kai does admit to being confused on the whole situation, and when someone in his chat says that this lawsuit is implying that UMG paid Kai to react positively to Not Like Us, Kai emphasizes that UMG most definitely didn't pay him, but he did eat well off the profits from his reaction video, and then he realizes that he had the most viewed reaction video to the song on the whole internet.
He's saying UMG slid you some bread. Ain't that weak? I ain't gonna lie, chat. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I wasn't even complaining. All my shit was monetized. I'm gonna keep it a whole stack. How much views we got on that? 9 million? I don't believe it. Hold on. Kai Cenat, Not Like Us. Goddamn! Hold on. Reaction. Oh, we the most viewed reaction? What the fuck?
And I just want to break down to you guys why a guy like NoLifeShaq is so upset that Drake is shutting down any possibility of future artists whitelisting their music for reaction channels. Because look at the type of money that creators are missing out on here, right? Kai Cenat, he got around 10 million views on his Not Like Us reaction. It's about 14-15 minutes, so YouTube is probably paying him about anywhere from $5 to $7 per 1,000 views. That's on the low end $50,000. That $50,000 either goes into the pocket of the creator who made the reaction video or the label that owns the rights to that song. Who do you think deserves the profits of that video more? Now, as for the creators Zias and Blou, who were also mentioned within the lawsuit, they weren't backing down for nothing, alright? Blou said, Drake is suing over a diss song. I'm gonna create my own Drake diss song. Then they went as far as getting a lawyer on the phone and letting him know that they were suffering their own emotional distress from being mentioned in Drake's lawsuit, amidst the possibility that Drake could use their Not Like Us reaction against them in a court of law.
I'm at an absolute emotional distress since I'm like, how dare he?
All right, well, you know, you guys are technically like journalists, so as long as you're not saying anything too crazy, you pretty much can have like freedom of the press. You kind of say whatever for the most part. So I'd like to watch that video. Is it still up?
Yeah, it's still up. The Not Like Us video is still up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me watch the video and see how you guys reacted, and then I'll give you a call back, kind of let you know what I think.
Then they asked the lawyer if they can sue Drake themselves.
How much you think we would be able to get or sue for if we did a counter suit for emotional distress?
Yeah. I mean, you have to prove that it hurt your business and how. Personally, maybe you guys are losing brand deals and stuff now. Maybe you guys are the threats and stuff caused you guys sleepless nights.
I couldn't sleep last night.
Couldn't sleep last night.
You might
I usually take naps during the day. I couldn't do it today. I went to the gym. You know me, I like working out. I went to the gym. I only did one set.
No, all that stuff matters. All that stuff matters. So, yeah, I mean, it could be worth a lot of money.
Then Zias and Blou hopped on stream with the avid Drake glazer DJ Akademiks and spoke on how Drake suing the biggest record label in the industry, UMG, will impact his career. Without that big machine behind him, that could tarnish his career more than any diss record from Kendrick or whoever else ever could.
Hold on, does this prove that like Drake, for lack of a better phrasing, ain't shit without the machine? Because I'm looking at like, okay, Drake dropped a considerable amount of music this past summer, right?
Yeah.
And it just had zero. It felt like it, at least to me, it felt like it had zero impact.
Well, you said the right word, impact, right?
Akademiks even agreed with the points they made, emphasizing that at this point in Drake's career, he's like Taylor Swift level. But without that big UMG machine backing him, he'll be playing in the same leagues as the rappers, not the Taylor Swifts and the Bad Bunnies.
Drake ain't Superman without the labels.
Right.
He's just in the pack. We used to talk about Drake, the Drake stimmy, the effect of Drake.
Yeah.
Drake is just a regular artist, which is still a top 10 artist. He just isn't. You remember he was just like, yo, I just rap and I went pop. No, you're just a rapper now, right? Like you're a top 5, top 10 rapper.
Now, what's really interesting, right, is the fact that obviously Drake here is making the case that because UMG whitelisted Not Like Us, that incentivized creators to react positively to the record since they were able to actually profit from their reactions. That's why the chat was telling Kai Cenat that UMG quote-unquote paid him off, because essentially by the record label allowing Kai Cenat to profit off his reaction, he's incentivized to react positively. But the creator Knox Hill actually tore down Drake's entire argument here because his reaction to Drake's diss record, The Heart Part 6, was whitelisted, meaning he was able to profit off of reacting to a Drake record, essentially showing that UMG wasn't showing favoritism in which artists they chose to whitelist.
I actually got away with publishing my reaction to The Heart Part 6, and I could fully monetize that. And to this day, it is one of the only reaction videos to this diss track series that I have been able to fully monetize throughout this beef. And no, it's not Kendrick Lamar's diss, it's Drake's diss. The rest of my Kendrick and Drake reactions, claimed. And I specifically remember when that happened, I was like, all right, bet, I finally get to monetize something. It's like Christmas has come early. And that was on Drake's side.
He also disproved the notion that Drake was saying basically by UMG letting these creators react to Not Like Us and profiting off their reactions, they would now be incentivized to react positively to Not Like Us. Knox Hill disproves that because he was able to react to Drake's song, The Heart Part 6, and fully monetize and profit off of his reaction, but he still weighed in Kendrick's favor. He still wasn't siding with Drake, proving that UMG was not simply whitelisting music that reactors would react to positively.
At the conclusion of the beef, that didn't make me weigh in Drake's favor. And I'm a huge influencer and a huge reaction channel who did millions of views on this beef. So the whole premise that, hey, if I'm whitelisted, that's going to make me look more favorably on one artist or another, right there is already proven wrong on this channel, because that didn't make me look more favorably on Drake. In fact, the one reaction that I was most critical of, that I pointed out the most holes in of all the Drake disses, was his Heart Part 6.
Now, aside from your modern day reactors, the reactors of the previous generation, news reporters, even the ones that might seem most out of touch with what's currently going on in hip-hop in 2025, yeah, even they know that Drake suing Kendrick is a bad look and that Kendrick destroyed Drake through this battle.
It's giving Crash out, guys, but you know, from a legal perspective, it's an interesting move on Drake's part. Notably, he's not suing Kendrick Lamar, right? He's suing Universal, which reps both of these artists.
So why would he do that?
Yeah, so it's interesting. It seems like a failed attempt, sort of not to look petty, not to look like he's suing the artist that just, you know, annihilated him in this rap battle. Let's just call it for what it is. That song is a banger, right?
So I guess Drake is going to have to sue CBS now. Now, as far as the streamers and reactors on Drake's side, even his biggest supporters there had to admit that this lawsuit is a terrible look for him. This is what Akademiks had to say about it.
I think it was a bad idea to use the streamers. This lawsuit, I can't see it, bro. I just can't see it. I can't see Drake winning it. I can't see it helping him PR-wise. I'm just confused. And this is why I don't want to speak remotely for Drake with this. Drake got to come and help us understand what this is about, bro. This just doesn't make any damn sense. You trying to cite reasons for the lawsuit by saying they called you a colonizer is like, come on.
Funny enough, though, another streamer by the name of Plaqueboymax actually claims that his Not Like Us reaction was never monetized, it was never whitelisted, and he believes it's because he was hating on the song in his reaction.
React to the Drake at all? Is he finna sue your ass too?
I don't know, Drake not finna sue me. I mean, shit, maybe, I don't know. All I know is my reaction to the Kendrick did not get monetized. My shit did not get monetized. Them took my shit down because I was hating on Kendrick.
Now, aside from the reactors and streamers, some rappers also expressed their, let's just call it, disapproval of Drake's actions. I thought you guys might appreciate this clip of Soulja Boy reacting to the whole thing, and I apologize in advance for all the bleeps. He curses a lot. I didn't put these censors in. The original uploader did, but take a listen.
And Drake, you a b****. You can't even come to America and talk to the president. Fuck, boy. Stay in Canada where your long at. You's a b****. And the rest of y'all stop playing on me, nigga. On my mom. Fuck around with y'all pussy folks. Y'all got me. Who y'all think won that battle, Kendrick or Drake? I ain't gonna lie, bro. Y'all some real bro. Cause y'all the type of that sue y'all hoes. Y'all like Drake, bro. Y'all the type of that lose a rap battle and go sue a nigga. Or y'all the type of go broke and go sue a nigga. I'm a real gangster, bro. I can never sue a nigga. unless you a and you just did some.
Now, another rapper that spoke on the entire situation was Drake's good friend Lil Yachty, but he actually spoke on it a couple months back in July with Andrew Schultz, who, in my opinion, is the Drake of comedy. And funny enough, way back then, Lil Yachty was saying that Drake was genuinely unfazed by the entire situation.
Reality, bro, outside of the people who care about hip-hop, bro,
nobody gives a f
at all.
And they just want to party. There's some beautiful girl they want to dance with.
And they want to dance to Drake. He didn't give a f.
Really?
No, he was genuinely unfazed. I respected it a lot, and I talked to him. That shit didn't bother him. As it shouldn't. He's a fucking guy. And then to a point where I just stopped talking to him about it because I felt like I was the one bringing him the negativity.
Now, I just find it funny that, a couple months ago, he was having people tell the world that he was unfazed by this whole thing, but just months later, he's now suing his record label, saying that they've done irreparable damage to his reputation, and that this song has tarnished his financial situation so bad that it'll take a multi-million-dollar PR campaign to basically clean up the mess that Kendrick caused. And what's funny is this isn't actually the first instance of Drake threatening legal action within his career. Way back when he was not acting as a rapper, but he was actually acting as Jimmy on Degrassi, one of the writers claims that Drake actually threatened legal action to get his character on the show out of a wheelchair. An article from 2021 states that Degrassi was known for its honest storylines during its 15th season run, but there's one plot point that star Drake was reportedly so against that he nearly took drastic measures to put an end to it. His character Jimmy used a wheelchair when he was paralyzed from the waist down after he was hit with a firearm in season 4. Drake reportedly didn't want the character to end up like that. There was a letter from a law firm in Toronto, and it was from Aubrey, the show writer James Hunt told the AV Club. It was an odd letter that said, Aubrey Graham will not return to Degrassi Season 6 as Jimmy Brooks unless his injury is healed and he's out of the wheelchair. Hearst said that Drake had an eye on pursuing his rap career. Hearst said, let's get Drake down here. He came in and was like, what letter? I don't know about that. And I said, all right, I understand. But how do you feel about the wheelchair? He's like, all my friends in the rap game say I'm soft because I'm in a wheelchair. And I said, well, tell your friends in the rap game that you got hit with a firearm. How much harder can you get? You got hit. You're in a wheelchair. He was like, yeah. Hearst then said that Drake ultimately dropped the matter and that he was quote unquote so nice and apologetic about everything he instantly backed down. I was very passionate about it. And I said, Aubrey, there's some kid somewhere in a wheelchair who's completely ignored, who's never on television, never gets represented. I need you to represent this person. You're the coolest kid on the show, and you can say there's nothing wrong with being in a wheelchair. The idea of getting him out of the wheelchair was a subject that was discussed. There's always a conversation. Is there a surgery that Jimmy can have? Can we somehow get him out of this? And so while Drake never went through with the lawsuit in this case, it's funny that anytime he feels like his career is threatened, regardless of what industry it's in, whether it's in music or in acting, he still threatens with legal action. Now, what I also found interesting, right, because damn near every single comment under my videos is someone who does not support Drake. Everything I see on my timeline is essentially a bunch of either radical Drake haters or radical Drake OVO glazers. But it seems like the Drake hate has far outweighed the love that I've seen Drake get over the last, basically since this beef has commenced. Public sentiment has completely shifted. You're even seeing middle-aged female daytime news reporters critique Drake's performance in the rap battle. You're seeing him try to make this pivot out of hip-hop into streaming by teaming up with XQC.
You have to switch this song off.
It's on a play, so let him run it.
You have to switch this one. We're real sixers. We're real sixers. They're real six side. We don't listen to that. Guy's like a fragile op, but it's a good song though.
It's a fragile op. Okay, interesting.
He's like a fragile op, but it's a good song though.
What does that mean, a fragile op? No.
Chat knows what I'm talking about. Fragility.
Or Aiden Ross.
Rap's dead, bro. I'm sorry. It just is.
Let's not go there.
We don't gotta go there, but it's dead.
Let's not go there. It'll never die.
Not die as far as like full on die.
It'll never die. What do you mean?
Music's just dry right now, bro. Nobody's dropping shit. I don't know, bro.
It was a weird NBA season. That's all it was,
It's alright.
New season starts in like 5 days anyway.
Facts. Brand new season, brand new year.
And while these streams have proved to be successful, he's now making just as many enemies in the streaming community as he has in the rap community. It used to be a 20v1 with the likes of Kendrick, The Weeknd, A$AP Rocky, Rick Ross, Childish Gambino, and more, all taking shots at Drake on records. Now you're seeing streamers release their own Drake diss tracks and calling them out for mentioning them in his lawsuit. So with all this hate that Drake received, I find it really interesting that the day he released this lawsuit was actually his biggest streaming day in 4 months, meaning that that was the most that people listened to him in 4 months. Just kind of an interesting perspective that shows that maybe the internet doesn't dictate everything, and maybe even though this is the most disgraceful, horrendous thing you could do after losing a rap battle, it ultimately may not affect how much his music is consumed. No matter how much hip-hop hates Drake, no matter how much that hate is warranted, he may be, at this point, too big to fail. I mean, we're seeing him sell out an overseas tour, adding new dates. Again, we're seeing him get more streams today than he has in the last 4 months. And this is the day after this lawsuit was released to the public. Yeah, he may not have this massive machine of UMG supporting him the way that they were years ago, but if Not Like Us wasn't enough to take him down, you gotta ask, does he even need that massive machine? Like, Kendrick is the final boss in hip-hop, one of rap's biggest superstars currently, one of the best catalogs in hip-hop history, period. One of the strongest lyricists that we have today. If he beats Drake in a rap battle and releases a song that's so massive that Drake has to sue for defamation, but Drake still has as massive of a career as he had before this song ever existed, what does that say about what it would take to actually eliminate Drake from the mainstream? Just some food for thought, and I had some more food for thought for you guys, because obviously, we do a fair amount of Drake hating on this channel, right? And in 2025, I want to come with some more balanced perspectives. Even though I may not agree, I want to present to you guys both sides of the coin and have some open dialogue here. I came by this clip that I'm going to play for you guys. I thought it was kind of interesting. I definitely don't agree with a lot of what the woman in this clip was saying, but I thought it offered a good perspective on how this could maybe be, as Drake claimed, him really trying to fight the evil ways of the record label versus trying to, police a rap battle or personally attack Kendrick.
Whether y'all like it or not, you all are stuck on hip-hop norms. You all are stuck championing the way the record company has taken advantage of artists for years. They will sign these contracts, they will sell millions of records, and they will walk away penniless at the end of the day because of the way all of these record contracts are designed. No one dares to challenge a company like a UMG. No one dares to go against a large corporation like Drake and Michael Jackson have. And y'all, it's just the ignorance of it all. No disrespect. It's just the ignorance of it all. You all are trying to put the battle versus what Drake has known and has seen going on behind the scenes way before the Kendrick thing. We're going to tear him down because it's easy and fun to get on that bandwagon instead of recognizing that we are tearing him down for doing what most artists don't even have the ability to do. And that's defend themselves. That's to come to the table and negotiate from a position of strength. And we see one person, one artist, actually taking a company, a corporate giant to task for violating their contractual agreement in essence and colluding, whether it was intentional or not. He has a right to do this. The problem is y'all not used to seeing it. Y'all used to just championing of hip hop artists when they make money and they go on tour and they got the fancy jewelry and the fancy cars and all the fronting they do on social media. Most of the times they're broke. And then when they do fall down on hard times because the record companies walked away from them, because they don't have health insurance, because they don't have a retirement plan, none of that's in their contract. That's not the way that these record companies take care of these artists after making them gazillions of dollars. Then you want to laugh at them. Then you want to make fun of him. Y'all want to jump all over him and, tear him down and say he's just a loser about the battle. Please get some business sense. Please stop championing the norms of hip hop that tear down our people ultimately. Please recognize when somebody is standing up for the rights of not just himself, ultimately. Yes, it's about him right now, but it is going to open the door for artists down the line. We have got to do better, and we got to expect better for us. We got to expect better for us and stop falling for this nonsense. It's just sad.
I'm going to have to say, though, the biggest flaw in this logic, in this argument, is the fact that Drake has been using this same machine, these same evil tactics to A, release his own diss records and silence other rappers like Meek Mill, or his own sneak disses like his ones at Kanye West, Megan Thee Stallion, Rihanna, Serena Williams, her husband, and a lot more. So to try to make it seem like Drake is fighting the good fight when he's used these same evil tactics for years and is only fighting it when it's not going in his favor says a lot more about his intentions and morals versus what it says about how this will change the music industry. And if you want to look at how it's going to change the music industry, there's also a really grim outlook on that perspective as well, because what does this say about the standard of how rappers can now produce diss tracks? If labels now have to worry about, subject matter within a rapper's song ties them up into some sort of defamation lawsuit, they're going to be very strict on the type of subject matter that can be included in their artist's music. And even if the rapper says, okay, forget it, I'm not even going to profit off of this song, I'm going to bypass the label and just release it for free, then their opponent in the rap battle can now feel confident enough, or as Drake would put it, charged up enough to go and sue that rapper directly for defamation. He's creating a very ugly precedent, and it's not just with rappers. Again, it's with streamers as well. Ironically, he only targeted black creators within this lawsuit, only used them as examples, but really he's targeting the entire reaction industry and setting everyone back, including himself, if he does plan on streaming more heavily in the future. Because now he's making sure that all the money, all that copyright money from these reaction channels will stay in the pockets of the record labels. By pointing the finger at UMG for saying, look, you guys tried this quote unquote illegal initiative of whitelisting songs for reaction channels just because it wasn't mine, UMG will now have zero incentive. As a matter of fact, they'd be incentivized to never again whitelist a song on a reaction channel, because if that song contained quote unquote defamatory content like a Not Like Us did against Drake, again, then it ties that label into the possibility of getting themselves in a legal battle. So just horrible precedents Drake is setting here, and he's simultaneously letting the world know, because you could literally look line by line, quote by quote in this lawsuit, him and his legal team believe that Not Like Us has caused massive damage to his reputation. He's well aware of it. So whatever he tells you in future records, like No Face, like they tried to get me, but how am I still up? All that nonsense, all that tough talk, it's all cap when it comes down to what he's telling a judge in court. And as you can see by all the clips I showed you guys in this video, a lot of his fellow streamers, a lot of his fellow reactors and rappers alike are not very happy with this decision. So let me know what you guys think about Drake suing and targeting reactors in this lawsuit within the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
There's a lot of little nuggets in both of their disses that if it wasn't for these breakdowns, and salute to guys like this, Rapaholics, because I think they directly get it.